just revealed what really happened in Las Vegas, and it is bad for the FBI. Julian Assange is back on the scene, and we all know that he doesn't post his subtle tweets without having some serious evidence to back it up. While speculation has run rampant on social media forums as to what actually happened in Las Vegas, we can now be assured that Assange knows something and fully intends on showing us exactly what that something may be. Questions seem to be more abundant than answers this time around, and that is what most likely can attribute to the mass influx of regular people trying to solve the mystery by any means necessary. We have seen things ranging from green aliens to the very same thing that Assange is alluding to. The FBI was responsible. Which is not very far-fetched on the grander scale of things already proven in the past about CIA and FBI involvement with events like this. The average American, however, is becoming more attuned to those very sad realities, and due to that the subgroups won't be able to continue their nefarious works for much longer. When Assange publishes whatever information it is that he surely has, we will know much more than we ever would otherwise. According to AFF. In a pair of tweets that will leave you scratching your head and blinking at the screen, Julian Assange, the founder of Wikileaks, let loose what he really thought about the FBI in the wake of the deadliest mass shooting in American history. His words came as a reply message to another Twitter user that posted about FBI methodologies. The content is alarming, and that's partly what is so fascinating about the statement's placement as a reply, which was assumedly meant to go largely unnoticed. Assange, who hasn't said anything else about the shooting orchestrated by Stephen Paddock, hasn't tweeted on the topic since and has returned to his regular rant about the Catalonia independence movement. Still, these few words will leave you wondering just how much we have left to learn. Here's what Assange had to say. Almost all terror plots are created by the FBI as part of its business model. What is the business of the FBI? Extracting tax. What does it need to do that? A stable threat. Prob? Real terrorists are sporadic and make FBI look weak. Solution? Make them. Wow. The implications here are rather damning, particularly in the aftermath of the Mandalay Bay massacre. Truth be told, the FBI does in fact have a long history of giving mentally deranged individuals weapons and then arresting them for plotting attacks. This is well documented, and there is often some news segment discussing the latest sting conducted by federal agents resulting in the arrests of a radical or potential domestic terrorist. In a number of cases, the FBI have facilitated the procurement of explosives even. The risks involved in these high-stakes setups must go without saying. If anything goes wrong, people die. Take for example the gun-running scheme conducted under the operation named Fast and Furious. Acting under the theory that weapons could be used like a medical tracer at a hospital, guns were injected into the cartel system by federal agents that sold them to the gangs in the hopes that they could trace them back to the organization. The results were abysmal and people died, some of them were border agents. Assange had more to say. The FBI is giving guns to the mentally ill to attack people, then leaping in to save the day, cameras rolling. What a bunch of jerks. Linking to an article from Business Insider, Assange conveyed one of the darker tendencies of federal agents: encouragement. In many cases, agents will seek out people who have somehow demonstrated radical views, and then coax them into plotting an act of terrorism, often providing weapons and money. Before the suspects can carry out their plans, though, they're arrested. And last March, The Intercept profiled 25-year-old Sami Osmakak, who was broke and struggling with mental illness when he became the target of an FBI sting operation. The FBI provided all of the weapons seen in Osmakak's martyrdom video, The Intercept reported. The Bureau also gave Osmakak the car bomb he allegedly planned to detonate, and even money for a taxi so he could get to where the FBI needed him to go. Paddock, independent or encouraged? Now, this leaves every sane individual with a number of questions left unanswered. First, if the sheriff believes it was impossible for Paddock to have acted alone, who helped him? And, second, what if the federal agents were in contact with him? Finally, why would Assange choose to tweet this information out now? Aaron Rouse, The special agent in charge for the FBI's Vegas investigation is likely the only one that knows the answers to the questions keeping many Americans up at night. He also doesn't seem inclined to reveal them anytime soon. During his recent statement before the press, he seemed quite annoyed at some of the questions being asked and very reluctant to field any at all. It was almost as if he was ashamed. But there's one troubling possibility. The FBI was involved or at least aware of Paddock prior to this incident. They could have egged him on, they could have failed to arrest him when they planned to, or they could have misread the immediacy of his intentions. Regardless, if that is the case, then this tragedy could be as simple as the FBI not arresting him when they should have, all because of their dirty obsession with quarterbacking terrorism. Together we will make America great again. It is time the truth comes out on more than just this shooting. We the people are no longer willing to be complacent and silent. The Julian Assanges of the world exist for one reason and one reason only, and that is to provide truth regardless of party lines and political affiliations. More of us should be doing that very same thing. Truth should be sought from every direction. We know the left and the Democrats don't have a whole lot of truth to
seat in the White House, and Hillary Clinton continues to trade barbs with President Trump. The Clintons at an event in Little Rock when the following was said. Roll it.
Apparently, my former opponent is obsessed with my speaking out. Apparently there was another, somebody told me, tweet today. Honestly, between tweeting and golfing, how does he get anything done? I don't understand it. So maybe that's the whole point.
And that in turn led to this tweet from the president. Crooked Hillary Clinton is the worst and biggest loser of all time. She just can't stop, which is so good for the Republican Party. Hillary, get on with your life and give it another try in 3 years. End tweet. Adrian Elrod, former director of strategic communications, Hillary Clinton team, and Lawrence Jones, host of the Lawrence Jones Show on Blaze Radio. What's happening, you two? I mean, so much for the Hatfields and McCoys. They got nothing on this one. Lawrence, you start.
Well, Bill, Hillary Clinton won't go away. I mean, it seems like she's continuing her methods to distract from the president's agenda. She seems to be a little bitter about her loss. And so this is why the president is responding. But I would push back on Hillary Clinton because this is the president that's being transparent and using Twitter. It's much different than her deleting her emails.
Adrian, interesting.
Yeah.
I think this can go in 100 different directions. What do you think about the obsession?
Look,
and the inability to get over what is still, pretty sore. Go ahead.
Exactly. Look, the election is over. We're over a year from when Donald Trump won fairly and squarely to be president of the United States. He still remains obsessed with Secretary Clinton. He tweets about her constantly.
But he was reacting to what they had to say in Arkansas.
No, of course. And by the way, I was in Arkansas for that celebration. It was a really extraordinary weekend. But look, President Trump, there's a lot of stuff going on that our country is facing right now. For him to continue to harp on Secretary Clinton, continuously tweeting about her, obsessing over every criticism that comes out of her mouth is not productive in terms of moving forward.
By now, he hits back on everyone, Adrian.
No, of course. And Secretary Clinton has made it very clear that she intends to remain out there in the public sphere speaking out. But why does the President of the United States of America need to continue to tweet about her and continue to jab at her when we have so many problems going on in this country?
Go ahead,
Fine, but why?
He tweets about everything, and this is the same Donald Trump that he was during the campaign. He's doing it as President of the United States.
Sure.
I would argue that he's being consistent. Also, Adrian, you noted that you feel like the election was fair. Hillary Clinton does not feel like the election was fair. She thinks this is because of Russia.
Not true. No, absolutely not. She has acknowledged that President Trump is our president. We certainly have a lot of issues with.
Hang on. There are lots of questions about the legitimacy of Trump's election.
Absolutely,
That's what
absolutely.
She said.
Well, of course she said that, but he is the president of the United States, and that is something that we
agree with that.
Yes, no, absolutely. But look, fine. Donald Trump does tweet about a lot of people. Anybody who seems to criticize him, who has a public platform, he tweets about. But my point is this: Secretary Clinton will continue to speak out. President Trump should focus on the real issues that we have going on in this country right now.
And he will continue to respond.
Yeah, he will. I guess he will continue to
so she's
tweet
not,
at Crooked
she's
Hillary.
not going to the corner for the next 3 years and just go.
No, I think that she will continue to speak out on the issues that she feels passionately about.
And I bet we have you both back here in 2 weeks talking about the same topic. Adrian, thank you.
Yes,
Lawrence, nice to see
Thanks,
you.
Bill.
Thanks to you both. All right.
Clinton still asking what happened and questioning the 2016 election results.
I think that there are lots of questions about its legitimacy, and we don't have a method for contesting that in our system. That's why I've long advocated for an independent commission to get to the bottom of what happened.
So a year later, we're still questioning the legitimacy. But that's not what she said weeks out from the election day when she was horrified about President Trump doubting the future results.
That's horrifying. You know, every time Donald thinks things are not going in his direction, he claims whatever it is rigged against him. That is not the way our democracy works.
It's horrifying. So why the backtracking and excuses, and does it hurt our democracy? Here to debate, Fox News contributor Richard Fowler and Republican strategist Chris Prudhomme. Thank you both for joining us this morning. So, Richard, I will start with you. She said it was a threat to our democracy to question the legitimacy of the election. She called Donald Trump that night to concede. Yet a year later, she's still saying, I don't know if it's legitimate. Is that helpful for our democracy?
Well, number one, Hillary Clinton is a private citizen of the United States now.
Sure.
She lost the election. She conceded to Donald Trump. She was at his inauguration, sort of saying that he is the president. We had a peaceful transition of power. I'm not really sure exactly what she was trying to say in that Mother Jones interview, but what I think, or what I hope she was trying to say, is that we need to protect our democracy at all costs, and we know because the DNI basically was very clear that the Russians engaged in our election. We know that the head of the CIA, Donald Trump's CIA at this rate, has said that the Russians have engaged in our election and they tried to interfere in our election. The person that we're waiting to say has interfered in our election is the President of the United States, who continues to sort of pussyfoot around this, whether they engaged or they didn't engage.
But, Richard,
and
we
that
know
is
these
what's
investigations are going on. Richard, just quickly as a follow-up.
There's no investigation of whether or not they engaged. Every intelligence agency agrees that they engaged.
We've got Bob Mueller, we've got special counsels, we're looking at things, all of that.
No, well, that's trying to figure out if the Trump administration helped them engage.
The election. I mean, we know not a single vote was changed. To question the legitimacy, isn't that, as a Democrat, isn't that unproductive for you and your party at this point?
Well, listen, Hillary Clinton is a private citizen. She can do whatever she wants to do.
I know she's a private citizen, but is it helpful? She's still a leader of the party.
I think, well, let's be very clear here. I think what's more hurtful to our democracy is the fact that the President of the United States will not agree with his intelligence agencies. Well, I take that back. Last week, I guess he sort of agreed with our intelligence agencies, indicating that, yes, the Russians engaged in our election. No, they did not change a vote, but we know that they put out fake ads. We know they put out fake news. We know the fact that they tried to hack into voting. We know that they tried to hack into voting machines.
I got to get Chris in here.
But they tried to, and that is problematic.
Chris, I mean, two issues that were brought up by Clinton is voter suppression tactics in swing states and, of course, Russian influence. What do you make of this, Chris?
Well, first of all, I'll say this. If anyone's any potential threat to democracy, it's Hillary Clinton and her cronies. I mean, it's time to bring America together. And I say this continuously all the time. When you have someone such as her, they say President Trump is causing division. I mean, she's the one that's leading the cause, and everybody's saying, oh, resist. He's not my president. This is not how we get things done in America. When you look at what happened, look at Wisconsin. I mean, it's not about anything else. It's her. She refused to campaign in many states such as Wisconsin, and they blame it on voter suppression. No, people were not enthusiastic to support Secretary Clinton. You have many minority voters who didn't even see her as an enthusiastic candidate for them to support.
So, Chris, you're saying a lot of this you think at this point is sour grapes. It's just I want to relitigate something that I can't let go of.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. And also look at the fact of this. I mean, Hillary Clinton is a career politician. She has career support all around her. So to have someone such as now President Trump, who never held political office, who had no prior political base, this is a major blow for her. I mean, it's not like she lost against, a Bush or anyone else. I mean, she lost against, obviously now President Trump. And it's obviously affecting her in a major way, and she's going to do anything and everything she possibly can, which includes getting her colleagues who are obviously currently in the Senate and Congress who are continuously trying to tear him down, such as saying he's not their president and resist. And that's not how
we've got to leave it there. Without Richard pivoting to Russia or President Trump, do Democrats need more or less private citizen Hillary Clinton at this point?
Are you talking to me?
Richard, sorry, yes.
I mean, this has nothing, like I said, this has nothing to do with Hillary Clinton as a private citizen. She is one. I think the people that keep replaying it are Republicans who want to talk about Hillary Clinton.
Interviews.
No, but we don't have to talk about her interviews. She's not the president of the United States. That's like if I go out and give an interview, you don't have to replay it every day. At the end of the day,
I
Donald
watch
Trump
your interviews on a loop, Richard. Come on.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that, son. But, I mean, Donald Trump is president of the United States. What we should be all focused on, both Democrats and Republicans, is making sure that we have a strong democracy. And we can't have a strong democracy if these Russian hackers continue to buy fake ads.
Yep. I got to leave it there. Richard Fowler and Chris Prudhomme, thank you both for joining us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you. All right, coming up, Glamour Magazine's Woman of the Year Awards.